Hi. It's very lovely to be here. One's been watching TED Talks forever, so it's just lovely to be here. So actually, uh, my 15-year-old, I'm going to be reading this because, like, lucky, how wonderfully he was speaking, just example. I'm bad at that, probably. So I'm just going to be reading. But I want to share that when my 15-year-old first heard about this, that I've been invited to speak at this TED Talk, so she got very excited, and then she said that, "Ma, you must start with a joke. You must start." So, and I remember thinking that, okay, so what can be more funny than I've been asked to speak on a subject like impermanence, which is something that I think I've singularly found pretty unfunny all my life. It's something that I've found not had much humor about, about impermanence. So at the outset, it would be safe for me to say that I have always associated impermanence with change. For me, impermanence meant change, and I have always had a healthy resistance to change. I can say that. So I don't know if change is a synonym for impermanence or it's a consequence, but whatever it is, I've just had a healthy resistance to it. Especially if the change has been initiated, by forces outside of me, external. And yet, interestingly, when I look around, in life, I look around in nature, I look around in relationships, in myself as well. Every indication, every signal, every metaphor, every pattern, everything, basically, if I look at it now, it just speaks of impermanence. It speaks of change. The day will turn to night as much as I might want to have it. I love the day. I'm not very good with evenings and night. I don't like it. I would love to have spring forever, but the rains do come with fury, and I'm not a fan of Mumbai rains. And it's my body. People around me change. My relationship with the people around me changes. So everything is just always in a state of flux and change. And of course, I've had various degrees of grief because of this. Because somewhere, I recognize that the intrinsic expectation is of permanence. It always is, from childhood. Um, but what is interesting, and the benefits of, I think, advancing in years is that sometimes you get little flashes of an overview, or what you call a bird's eye view sometimes. So for a second, if I just sort of become like a little hovering UFO and I look at life as we have been given, this model of this life, devoid of all its frills and fuss, if I just purely look at this model very crudely, what is it? We take birth and we die. There is a start and there's an end. And everything else just basically gets played out. This is the model that we have been given to play with. So in this model, inherent, the first thing is that there is impermanence, there is ending. So nothing is permanent. Yeah. So it in itself, this model within we all operate. Every one of us is subject to this law. Yeah. We realize this, and it just tells us that. But all our lives, we just are in resistance of this fact, which is the most simple fact of this life. Each of us lives on this planet, literally, that it will end. It is not permanent. Yeah. Now I can, my rebelliousness might just say that, no, but why is this the law? Why is it like that? And, why can't it be like that and all? But also, as you grow older, you realize that it's not really going to cut it, It is so. Some things are just so, So now what? Now when I say so, then, what can I do about it? So then it makes sense to me now to go a little forward and say, okay, now I have a choice. Now either I can sit over here and fiercely resist this and fight against this, or I can maybe come to some kind of a good acceptance of this. So mostly in my life, I've been in resistance of this, as I said. And I'm sure it's still not run its due course. There's still going to be more resistance as I go along in life. But this little overview now started poking holes in my little cloak of resistance to this basic thing that everything is impermanent, essentially, in its core. So then what happens is that it helps me look at the whole thing with a little new eyes. I can look at it a little freshly. as opposed to just the old resistance, old no, why, all that, you know, I think that's also a little boring for me. So I can look at it with fresh eyes. So on my good days, I see that I have a choice. Either I shove my head in the sand and I do the ostrich, or I can be supremely evolved and, you know, accept it that it is so. This change, which is in front of me, is so. Experientially, I can say that whenever I am not doing the ostrich, it really works for me. Okay. And on really good days, I can even chuckle and I can say, oh, wow, look at this. Wow, how this fanning out is lovely. It is easy? No, it's not easy. And I'm sure all of us around us who practice this know it's not easy. Yeah. But then doing the ostrich is also not easy, you know, because after the first phase of me shoving my head in the sand and saying, oh, all is good, the sand eventually does get in my eyes and in my mouth, and it's not much fun. So then I have to make the choice. Now, another insight which lately it seems that I have is helping me in this is that necessarily I don't have to believe that every ending, everything that is impermanent is only ending. Maybe it's transforming. Maybe I can look at it with another way. Maybe it's just transforming into something else. And it can maybe bring me something which right now I'm not willing to see because I'm so fixed on that something which I don't want changing, you know. But if I look at it with new eyes, maybe it's bringing to me. It requires a lot of reorienting on my part, adjusting and all. But first I need to accept that there will be change. And then what will happen is that what it will bring to me, I'll have to be trusting of this altered new. You know, I can't like then sit and say, what is this rubbish, or it's not working for me. I have to be trusting that this new or this new thing that's transformed or it's been brought to me, it's for me. And I need to look at it with new eyes as well. Because if I look at it very brutally, you know, in my life, I can see that whenever something had run its course in the previous arrangement is when it was time for change. Whether it's been forced upon me or I'm doing it myself, but something has run its course. And that's why change was required. And it's really hard for someone like me to accept this or to go along with this. But then there's lots there for me to look at. And this is truly experientially, I'm telling you this. I'm also trying to find, yesterday, okay, I was doing a little research and I was trying to do a little homework and finding some clever things I can say. So then I came across a quote by this lovely man whose name I cannot pronounce. It's his quote. He said that thanks to impermanence, everything is possible. Now, wow, that quite struck me, you know, everything is possible. Which means that even stuff that we don't allow ourselves to consider is possible because we're so fixed, you know, in our resistance to that. Even that is possible. What we consider working for us may transform into something unthinkable. Or something that's obviously also not working for us. We are not happy with that will also change. You know, we don't have to say that if it's something really horrible is going on right now, it will continue forever. No, it won't. It will change. It's not permanent. And on days which are hard, really hard, this thought would make me feel good. It would make me feel, oh, I can get through this because God, it's not permanent, man. It's going to change, you know. So deepest anguish, euphoric joy, ennui, everything is truly not permanent and will not stay forever. And it is so, you know, it is so. And for someone like me who's been fairly judgmental in life, I can look at myself and say, oh God, I've been a fairly judgmental sort of a person. I've had very strong likes and very strong dislikes and strong opinions. Now it tells me that it needn't even be like that, you know, that I might feel pretty strongly about something or someone in a certain way today, but it might change, you know, and to keep that little space alive and not, you know, sort of get fixed in my thought or my emotion or my feeling towards it, and I change, and I find that really lovely now. And in my knowing, whenever I'm able to do it now, you know, literally, like experientially do it in my life now, I really feel a sense of softness and like smiling or something sweet, because it's like something that's fixed. It's not fixed anymore. It's being allowed to soften, and it's okay. I might feel very strongly about a certain person today, but ooh, I might see something different about this person tomorrow. It's not permanent, it's all right. And I can change that. And that it creates a sense of real ease. And I use that word now a lot in life because it's a word I put at very high premium now in life for me. Ease. I have a feeling that we all tend to make our lives pretty difficult, almost as if we ask for it to be difficult. And then it is difficult, But if we ask for ease, just ease, I think it can be fairly life-changing. I feel it in my life, yeah. So I don't think I can speak of impermanence and not speak of death. So I think, internally, maybe I was trying to find some answers, some comfort, some stirrings were there. But about 5-6 years back, I started reading a lot of material on death. The Tibetan Book of Living and Dying, and other Tibetan literature around it, Laws of the Spirit World, just a lot of stuff around death. It's a bit difficult for me to articulate, but it's as if what I felt was that all this mystery and this concealment and this fuss and this shh about death, if we just sort of dropped it, what would that be like, As there is birth, so there is end, ergo, death is probably the most undeniable reality for all of us. We all are going to die. Everybody will die. Nobody can escape this ultimate absolute truth. But there's such a lot of fuss around it, I think, and so much fear, which creates fear because there's so much fuss, So I felt if we could only just cut the drama around it, and if we strip it of its romance, it's almost like a romance around death, strip it of its romance, strip it of its tragedy, and really brought it to ourselves as a living reality. What would that be like? Truly, I mean, as if our kids or we as kids were taught in school, as we are taught in home, all the belief systems that we are taught, right? Don't lie, be helpful, don't hit that one. We taught stories of courage, integrity. If in all of that, we taught ourselves stories and parables, it's just pure oral gyan, as we gave ourselves and to our kids of how impermanence is as important or as valid or as needed a thing as any of these other virtues or qualities that we try to inculcate from very early on in ourselves. If we brought that in our formative years to our kids, what would that be like? I mean, I often think, how would it have been if I would have grown up with the idea that, like the rest of the things that we make ourselves up with, that each time something ended or broke or finished, that my first response could have been that it is so, as opposed to why is it so, or why is it happening to me? If that thing was, if we internalized it as a reality, as we internalize many of the things, yeah, we want to be nice to people, we want to be good, we want to do the right thing, we want to write what the right, we just do many things which we think are correct or right for us. So if we internalized it and it became like a natural, instinctive response for us, our response to impermanence, to things that will end, I think we would lead our lives very, very differently. I really feel that. And I've been often saying that our kids should be taught that in school, and my friends look at me like I'm mad. But it's really in a no fuss way, death needs to be taught, I feel, to all of us. So if we accept death as the ultimate truth, I mean, truly accept it, then I ask the question then, what would we grieve for? Or what are the joys that we would enjoy in life? Because we would think that, if not death, then what is there to grieve for, in that sense? Or if we are all going to die, then what is the joy? What is the point of it, So I feel we would grieve for and have joy for all the things that we do, but only we would do it differently. We would do it with a different texture, with a knowing that ending is the norm. And if you really knew it, not as words that we speak, not as things that we read, but if it is something that was in us, because we were just taught that from children, how lovely that response would be. And we would look at every experience also with completely new eyes. And we would grieve for the same thing. If a loved one died, we would grieve, but we would grieve for it differently. Or if something precious which we loved, a cup, beautiful, if it broke, I would be sad, but I would be sad differently, is what I really feel. And I really wish this could happen somehow. Mm. So I think that's largely it's what blows my mind now a lot, having traveled all this while. All this is a pretty much a work in progress for me. Yeah, it's aspirational for me to come to the idea of impermanence now like this, because it's something truly I've struggled. And even if you've been a mother, that's another thing. So I'm a single mother, and it makes it a double whammy. So it's harder on many levels. But when you see, I often tell my friends that I probably should never have been a mother, because it's just such an overwhelming experience for me, and I often wonder whether it's like that for all mothers. But when you see yourself transforming, and you see your relationship with your child transforming, and you see your child transforming by itself, how they're just so sticky, clingy. And then when that detachment starts happening, and they are autonomous human beings, that. But when in reality it starts happening, and it's not even a distance, but it is so, and it's meant to be so, and it's beautiful, and yet it's painful. And you also know that they will eventually even go away. So even the most close, unconditional relationship, most powerful relationship, which I feel is also, in a way, subject to incredible change and impermanence of another kind, because it will always be transforming. And if you're not okay with it, oh my God, you will die. As a parent, you will just die. So yeah, it's a great learning thing, to be a parent. I feel you all should be parents someday. So largely that's what. Yeah. So I would just say that it's just literally this awareness is something I'm coming to in my life now. I must say that I spent too much years in my life not sort of knowing this for myself, because this does seem to work for me now. It's real, it's experiential, truly. It's the thing is of remembering it. Yeah, how to keep it always here. How just keep it there? Because you can easily forget, and also with the age, forgetting is a problem also. So maybe I'll take some pills for it or something. But yeah, just to remember this thing. And yeah, that's all. Yeah, just that's all I have to say about this. Yeah.